Welcome to 10 Minutes, everybody. So today I had a lot I wanted to talk about, but I actually got my first 10-minute request from somebody. So that's interesting. I'll talk about a few topics, so you probably won't know which one it is. First topic, there's no way for me to hide those rings in my eyes today. It's been a long week. Didn't sleep much. But one of the really cool things that happened this week is I talked to a man who owned he still owns like 3 major commercial buildings on one plot of land. And back in '92, him and his friend had a gentleman's agreement, handshake, no paperwork, no nothing, just good old integrity and trust. But either way, they were best friends, throughout their life. And his business partner now is in the hospital. And may or may not make it, and doesn't even want to see him and all that stuff. So he was kind of going through a tough day, but it was just really cool. And I'd like to just point out that I wish we could get back to more of that, where we could actually trust each other, integrity, and holding good, strong relationships that we believe are real. Because it was really fun to hear that guy's story, and they literally had nothing written down in paper other than the fact that they both signed on everything that was that they were financially responsible for. So that takes me on to the next exciting news. Today we purchased a 14-unit complex and finally closed on it. I think it's been 4 months in the making, 4 or 5 months in the making, but so we're really excited about that. That adds quite a few units to our collection of houses. One random time I got asked how many houses I want to have before I stop buying them, and my answer was 100. We'll see where that goes. So one of the last things, I had a conversation with 2 people today about just kind of staffing and how we build our teams out, how we scale our teams. And one of them was, kind of talking about, accounting, admin, things like that. And he was saying that everybody had to pick up the slack and take care of all the different things that that this woman was responsible for. So, he's just off the cuff. He's like, hey, yeah, I'm just going to have to find a good accountant person. And, I'm going to just kind of probably move her to just a receptionist or something. And I said, well, hey, you might want to be careful. Make sure you're surrounding yourself with people that really bring value. It's one thing to be, taking care of people who add value and bring value to the organization, and are there to, help. But if you're really just taking care of somebody, or you just enjoy their company or whatever, figure out how not to do business with them, whether that's doing business with them as an employee or doing business with them, as a business partner. Everybody needs to add value. A company is literally just a group of people underneath. Things are going good back there. A company is just literally a group of people, bound together by an organization, led by a leader. But ultimately, everyone is there to serve a purpose, to bring value, to make that organization successful, and is responsible to bring value to make the whole team successful, and everybody wins. So, keeping somebody around just because you don't know how to deal with them or let them go is really bad practice for a business, and it's the beginning of the end, or it slows your growth massively. The next thing is just, setting up team sizes and managers and leaders. There's workforces that are, basically, you bring in, you have to have active managers to keep people motivated, to keep people getting things done, to stay on track of people. But, when you get into project managers and sales and some of the more professional positions where people are supposed to understand the expectations, you shouldn't really need as deep of a management team, because those people should have expectation to be able to perform and do their job without daily micromanagement or daily follow-up. They need leads, or they need people who will support them, and help them grow, but they don't need people to micromanage them and be on top of them. So I think, from the different experiences I've had, been a part of a lot of businesses. You know, there's a difference between supporting your team with a cross section of senior people, which is what we do at Enlightenment Companies. Is, you know, we don't really have a manager. We have senior leaders that have their own value to add to the company, and then growing the other people is a side, you know, is something they do and fit in. And, you know, there's a give and take, but, you know, everybody needs to bring some daily value to the business. Otherwise, the overhead starts to get a little bit too much. So, you know, I guess it's different in every section. It's different in every business. But, you know, everybody who's a leader and doesn't actually bring value to the business to today is overhead. And if you have too much of that, the only real reason to do it is because you're striving for massive growth, and those people need to strategically build out plans and be putting energy towards the future. But just to micromanage people who actually should be adults and do what they're supposed to do, you got to be careful adding those resources. And, you know, maybe it's that situation back to the receptionist I was talking about, or the accounting person that's going to turn into a receptionist, where you probably just need to make a decision on if you have a bunch of people you need to manage in those professional positions. Maybe you just need some different people that don't need to be managed as often or as much. So, a lot of business talk today. I'm going to go get back to family time. Thanks for listening. See you tomorrow.